Alright everybody, what's up? Welcome to the CHADMAN and RANDY show. We are fresh off of last night's Bakersfield Rocks The Fox event at the Fox Theater. And
I'm not too fresh, dude.
Yeah, Randy's not too fresh. I find myself in the studio right now, dude, drinking another Monster. I drank fucking 4 yesterday, man. Dude. But I'd rather have that problem than blacking out drunk.
Yeah, I didn't black out, but I played PlayStation Baseball till about 4 in the morning, and then my wife woke me up and said at 5:30 or 6 and said, your dogs need to go out. Ugh.
Yeah, that sucks. Bang your head out.
Other than that, we were good.
So, man, where do we start, dude? It was a good show. I had a great time watching the different bands. Kings of Carnage, Aviators, I've got really close to. I'm a fan of them. And it's not to say that I'm not a fan of Adema or Il Tiempo or Art Machuca. But, you know, I was only there really to help do my part as a veteran liaison. And then the CHADMAN and RANDY show got started after I was involved, so we just turned it from like me being involved as the Wounded Heroes Fund vet and our show being involved. I think our show, for us, it was a complete success because we definitely got our name out there and, you know, people know who we are, apparently.
I went home happy, dude. Really happy.
It was cool, man. So, I mean, you know, and one thing I gotta say about Il Tiempo is I gotta respect the band who's out there and they're hungry and they're wanting to go out there and do things. You know, they want to get...
Well, you did a lot of promotion with Mike, didn't you?
What do you mean?
With Mike from El Tiempo?
Yeah,
you did a lot of promotion with him?
Yeah, we did. And, you know, you get to know somebody away from their music and just... I mean, you know, they're no different than us. And that's kind of what I was trying to say last night when we were leaving the Legion, is that the American Legion across the street, is that, you know, I respect that because what they're trying to do with their band is the same thing I'm trying to do with my podcast with you, right? You know,
so, I mean, yeah, we're looking for, you know, upcoming hungry people that, you know,
we want to talk to.
Smart, calculated, you know, decisions to go forward.
So I respect that. I'm happy that they got the crowd, and you know, to be in a band for a year and a half, I think they've been together a year and a half, and to be playing the Fox, that's pretty badass.
Me and my wife, it came up the other day. Is I was telling her, I was like, I can't believe that The Force Awakens is already coming out on Blu-ray on Tuesday and that you can get the digital download. And I was like, God, it seems like it just came out. I mean, shit, it's only been 4 months and you can own a copy at home.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but we hadn't even recorded a show at that point. At that point, we hadn't even created a we hadn't taped one show. And think of all the time-consuming stuff that this show's been since then.
We've definitely made our moves, man. And when we did this, we didn't come out saying, we're going to be the best podcast in Bakersfield. We're going to own things. We had it set in our mind that through our networking and through meeting people, we're going to do some things and we're going to get active in the community and meet bands and meet people. And shit, dude, in 4 months, we've exceeded all expectations. And, you know, it's just because we enjoy doing this. And when you enjoy doing something and when you enjoy going to events and you enjoy linking and networking with people, it kind of creates its own, I guess, its own movement, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
Well, I mean, with you, like you've always said, cranking the mics is therapy. And to me, this is the shit. When we come and turn on the mics, this is like the best part, the easiest part of the week. All the other stuff leading up to it, any research we do topic-wise or all the online stuff or anything that we're doing other than that is work. This is shit. People are like, how do you guys go in there and like come up with topics? And like half the time we have a discussion in the truck on the way over or whatever, and then we'll just throw that away and just start off on wherever we're going. And
it seems to be working. It's worked. Let's start out how the night began, and let's just run through it. When the show started, Danny Spanks from 106.1, local rock station here in town, been pretty well known, been working locally for a while here. He was supposed to be the host of the entire event, from what we were told. The guy didn't show up until 30 minutes before the show started, let alone respond to text message
30?
Or phone calls. Yeah, 5:30.
About 10. Shit, I think about 10 minutes before it started.
Really?
Dude, we were about ready to go on.
Oh, because he told me 5:30, and I didn't see him until right before the show started, and I had 10 minutes to tell this dude what he was going to say. That immediately stressed me out. I would have, and until, I was asked to host the event, and I said, yeah, I'll host it. No, it is a little stressful to kind of improvise on last minute. I mean, it's ingrained in me, I guess, as a former soldier. I can do shit like that, but I wasn't too happy with it because I wanted my role to be what I was asked to do, and that is to introduce Kings of Carnage, be the veteran liaison. Then it turned into like, well, Chad and Randy will host the show.
And then when we got the goddamn idea down, which we won't. I mean,
yeah,
but we had a.
Fuck it, I don't care. We'll get into it. I don't.
But I'm just saying we had down what we were. Then we decided we went from oh shit, we're gonna have to host this to all right, let's do this.
Let's do this. And so Danny Spank shows up. He does the introduction, and he names off all the sponsors. He tells about what the event was. It was local artists, local musicians for a good local cause, which happens to be Wounded Heroes Fund, a veteran organization. And then he starts listing off the sponsors, which I'm not going to start listing out, but when he mentioned the CHADMAN and RANDY show, all of us backstage heard the reaction from the audience, and all I could say is thank you.
We started giggling, all of us back there. I mean, some of the guys from the Aviators looked at us, and we're like, shit.
I mean, we got a pretty big, you said it,
almost
man.
embarrassed.
A little bit, because I was shocked. I thought the other sponsors, you're talking about RJ's Bar and Grill, a couple other places in town that are pretty well known, and the loudest reaction was our podcast. So thank you guys to our listeners and to our friends and family that were out there supporting us, and again to the listeners, because we wouldn't be shit without you guys. So fucking A, man, that was awesome. He did that, and then here's where my mood went kind of like annoyed to extremely irritated. So one of the sponsors was the local bail bond company, Patriot Bail Bond. Just so happens that the owner of that is running for mayor. There's 25 people right now. For those of you not living in Bakersfield, there's 25 people right now running for mayor. 25. 2-5. Okay? One of them happens to be this guy who owns Patriot Bail Bonds. Now, I'm not going to say anything negative or positive about the guy because I don't know this dude.
I've done no research on it. And we had another candidate running around that was running for mayor.
Right, another candidate running for mayor.
That was running around, the whole day back there,
In the audience. I think I might have shaken hands with him.
Well, he was backstage and everything else, too. Oh, that dude, he was running around the whole time, like, during sound checks and stuff.
I know who he... Okay, nice guy.
Mark.
Mark De Leon. Mark De Leon. Okay, yeah. We're going to try our best not to name names.
And we're not throwing support here. I'm going to tell you what, if that question does come up, like if we're supporting a candidate, like I know you created a video on it.
Yeah, last night I had to because I'm going to get into it right now.
I'll tell you right now, with the questions is we've always been about free speech, our opinions, whether they're right, wrong, or indifferent. They're never indifferent, for one. And if we're going to support somebody, you won't have to question it. You'll know.
Yeah, and exactly. You'll know exactly where we stand. Fuck, I have no... Look, this studio is in my house. Randy and I built this studio, and I have no problem inviting anybody to come on and talk on this show. But we're going to ask you some questions. If you don't like it, the fucking door's downstairs, man, later. I mean, that's the way it goes, right? I mean, we're going to ask questions, and we're going to form our own opinion, as everybody listening should. But here's where I got annoyed. The guy gets out there, and I would understand if he wanted... he's running for mayor, I get it. But if he wants, he sponsored the event, and I don't know what the deal was, the guy in charge of our promotion team or whatever, but he was supposed to go up there for 2 minutes. It turned into a campaign speech. I didn't like that. As a veteran who is a veteran liaison, there's veterans in the audience, this is about veterans. I didn't like how it became a fucking campaign speech for this guy. And what really irritated me and Kings of Carnage, who are all military, all veterans, is when he says, I want to talk to you about patriotism. Look, dude, there's not a thing you can say to an audience, which is mostly veterans at that point, about patriotism. That sent a shock through my body that really pissed me off because somebody like that isn't cut out for a political role because you're not going to go out there as a wannabe politician and tell a group of veterans with 5 combat vets standing behind you backstage that you want to talk about patriotism. Word it differently. And he didn't do that, and that irritated me. I'm sorry, and I'm saying it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that irritated me. That irritated the band.
You have an opinion?
So Kings of Carnage and I kind of decided, you know what? No, man. And I went out, introduced Aviators. Aviators killed it. I mean, always. That band is fucking amazing, man. The Aviators out there, they did their thing, played a great set. And then
Will running up and down the aisles like a psychopath. That dude is the best, man.
Roll video, video came in. There was an amazing video that DryHippo put together. That kind of like, I guess, my intro video that they made for me, and it consisted of a lot of pictures of my friends serving, a lot of buddies I know. It was some video. It was pretty intense. Do you guys like it?
Yeah. There at the end when it kind of froze with you on there, and I hit your wife and I hit my wife, and I don't know if it came up on the video that if you could hear me on the video, and I go, Chad made him do that because he wanted to seem tall for once in his life because you were up on the screen.
Screen lifts up. I come out, and I think if anybody during that event had to say anything about patriotism, it was going to be me or the all-military metal band. And so I remedied the situation. I think I did a good job of getting my point across and reminding everybody while they were there. Called out the services, got a really good reaction, and Kings of Carnage came out and fucking owned it.
Well, you're skipping something too.
What?
Micah singing the national anthem at the beginning, because you guys think that metal singers don't have range or have the ability, and you're just going to get your metal scream or your growl. That dude's got pipes, man.
Yeah, and I've been out there trying to promote Kings of Carnage for a long time because. Not because I like these guys and they're friends of mine and we're close. No, man, because they are... there's a reason I reached out to them. The reason I reached out to them last year was because they're fucking good. I like them. And, yeah, the fact that they're veterans, is that just like a cherry on top. Early on, we had somebody else, another veteran, that was going to come on, sing the national anthem. That fell through for whatever reason. And the first thing I thought was, let's get one of the Kings of Carnage guys, either Jason or Finney, to play it on the guitar. Then, as I was talking to Jason, I said, how would Micah feel singing it with Finney or you, Fuck, man, even Aaron out there with his bass. I mean, what do you guys think about that? He's like, yeah, fuck it, we're there, we're down. And, some of the people in the promotion team came at me about some guy playing on a trumpet and everything. And, that's cool, but I'm thinking this is a rock show. Trumpet would be cool, I get it. I know El Tiempo has trumpets in their sounds and everything. I'm totally with that, but... I think to set the mood right with Aviators and Kings and stuff, it needed to be sung.
Well, yeah, we're going kind of hard early.
Yeah,
compared to
Yeah, exactly, and we'll get to the lineup later. So I had asked Micah to sing the national anthem and Finney, and it turned out it was just Micah singing it. And let me tell you, when you see videos of your favorite singers, your favorite bands backstage, I know I'm a big Metallica fan, and one thing I noticed about these live DVDs is you see James in the background going like. La 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 la, like he's back there doing that. This big metal dude getting his voice warmed up. Micah shows up to his show every time I've seen him live, and he's doing that. He's out there warming his voice up. Micah, I don't know if you're listening. If you guys are listening, I don't know what the fuck that's called, but he's out there warming himself up, just like
singing
the other guys.
Goddamn Ella Fitzgerald! I fucking told him to knock that shit off.
But he's out there doing it, and he goes up on stage and he does the national anthem probably better than I've seen it done or heard it done. In a very, very long time. You have a metal singer walk out there in all black and just fucking rock the national anthem in his own way, in a beautiful way. I mean, it was fucking amazing, man. And so he'll be doing that. I said, Michael, I got a lot of events coming up that I'm going to be a part of and different things we're planning. You got to do this again. So that's not the last time you're going to see Micah sing the national anthem, guys. I mean, and like Randy said, to have a metal guy out there do it, it's just fucking amazing, dude.
I'm not sure, but that was like the second, like the bump we got for like for the show getting the pop that it did, and when Micah sang, we all kind of looked around and giggled again, like holy shit, like it was just perfect. Everything was working good, and it wasn't like that. It was a bad gig. It was like holy shit.
The show opened up fucking heavy, man. I remember backstage right before they went on, and right as my video was playing before I walked out, I looked at Jason and I said, man, and Jason said something to us like, man, shit's about to go off. Micah fucking singing the national anthem, the video going off, it would, just being intense, and then me out there do a minor reduction, and then King's out there killing it, ending their show with Pantera Domination. They do cover songs. They cover the 80s song Whip It, and typically every song they like, or every concert, the last couple times I've seen them, they like to surprise everybody with a cover song of a metal. They played Metallica in the past, which I really love, guys.
They do a great cover of Creeping Death.
Yeah, thank you, guys. That was cool. That was my little surprise. Thanks, guys. Love you. Pantera Domination was what they ended on last night. Awesome. The energy was fucking through the roof. People were stoked. They got a huge standing ovation from most of the crowd. They got people that are going to sit, but energy was good, man. We're pumped. We're going out. Everything's fucking riled up. And
so a lot of the older veterans just come up to him and be like, that's not really my kind of music, but fuck. Like,
yeah.
Like,
there was that dude up front. There was
like their hair was blown back and shit. Like that and they sold some discs, man. They were moving.
There was an older guy up there, videotaping and stuff, and the energy was high. Bakersfield Rocks The Fox. Let's do this, man. This is fun. This is intense. We're fucking having a good time. And then you bring out Art Machuca, who... Honestly, dude, he's the kind of guy you see playing on a street corner, like in New Orleans or Las Vegas or Hollywood. Yeah, he's talented. He can play the guitar. He can sing. Certainly can sing better than I can. But outside of playing, outside a Hard Rock Cafe in a corner, I'm not into them.
To me, it's kind of like an Aaron Lewis type thing, like a Stain type thing. And it's just not my thing. And I think the order was wrong for it.
It destroyed the energy. The energy was killed. It was done. I mean,
we had a raging fire going, and then it was
put out by a fucking heavy blanket of smoke. Is what, you know what I'm saying? It just put it. I mean, there were people falling asleep. I saw people falling asleep. Now, did this guy have fans and supporters, and did his bandmates and the interpretive dancers that he brought on stage, did they have? Sure, that's who they got their reception from. But everybody else, all the veterans, went across the street to the American Legion to get. That killed the mood. I told the dude in charge of this early on. I said, look, man, I know you got friends with some of the bands and artists involved in this, and you don't want to upset them, and you don't want to, you guys put this together. It's your idea. I understand that, but I'm telling you from a metal fan, from a rock fan perspective, you're not going to open up with the Aviators, the best band in town, followed by Kings of Carnage, who's opened up for Slipknot at Knotfest twice. Okay, they've been killing. I mean, and then put Art Machuca on after that. That. They end their set with Pantera Domination, and you follow it up with that, with the guy playing an acoustic guitar, electric drums, and people doing like gymnastics shit on the fucking stage and ballet, and what is that?
It's an artistic thing.
Fine, I respect that.
Right, it's an artistic thing, and you know what? The guy has a good voice. I'll give him that. He can play.
And I never said he didn't.
No, and I'm not either. Maybe I'm not smart enough to get all forms of art, so I generally
art is an artistry, right?
Yeah. As in, I don't get it because maybe I'm not smart enough or whatever, and so I just didn't get a lot of it. I'll just put it that way.
It killed the mood, man. I mean, everyone there, the cheers he got from people were from, and I'm just being honest and real, man. They were people that I saw him walk in with, people I saw his dancers walk in with and hug, and I pay attention to all this before he went on stage, and it's not like people just can't. I mean, it was people who like know him, people who know his band, the dancers. It wasn't like people went for Kings of Carnage and Aviators and Adema and saw this dude and was like, yeah, acoustic fucking dancers, yeah. No, man, it killed the mood, and I'm not hating on the guy. I'm just talking real talk. Nothing I'm saying right now is a lie. I saw people falling asleep. There was a dude and his wife and like some chick falling asleep. Now, did you see the chick with the mohawk? I walked up to her and I asked her, hey, what do you think about that? And here's what she said. She goes, this is actually really cool. This is different. I feel like I want to go do like a political march. I know, right? I said, okay, that's different. I didn't, So he didn't get all bad negative reviews, but I saw people in the crowd getting up. How many people did we see? We went and got in the back because me and Randy wanted to watch the audience reaction as all this was going down.
Well, it was closer to the beer line.
But
for me,
but how many people? We saw people get up and leave, man. Like they were getting up, going to get beers.
No, the dicks were in the beer line. That's the fucking problem.
Veterans were going across the street to the American Legion. It just killed the mood, man. It killed it. I would not have done it. I told my opinion from the get-go, and it was overlooked. That would have been a good show to open up with. That would have been cool to open people up with, and it would have been interesting. You just don't follow up an intense 2 acts with that. You don't. And that bothered me. And if people don't like it listening right now, that's my opinion. If you don't like it, fucking press stop. I don't know what to tell you, man. But from a rock show, a metal fan perspective, that just wasn't that. No, that was a no-go. Anyways, so then the next act is El Tiempo. And they got a pretty good response, man. They got.
Don't put. Okay, if I have access to backstage, don't leave a fucking little tricycle back there, because all I wanted to do was ride that fucker across the stage.
Yeah, homeboy came out.
The entire show, dude. I kept looking at that going, God damn it. I just wanted to ride across that shit like Jigsaw, dude, like the Saw movies.
It sat there the whole time, didn't it?
Yep, and I was like, God damn it, you can't leave it. Ugh.
They played a good set, and they got a good response from people, and good for them. That I can imagine that'd be cool. It's what they wanted to do. They set out, they did it, and I have nothing but respect for that. So, good job on that, guys. After they played, Adema came on, and they're doing their thing. I mean, that's cool. Good for them. They're back. I didn't know. I thought that Jonathan Davis' stepbrother was still in the band up until I got involved in this promotion. And the guy who took over, I guess, was their guitar player from the beginning, maybe. And he's you would have never known it wasn't. The original.
It sounded fun. I mean, I
Really
was
good.
I was in the part. We were kind of shaking hands and talking to people at that point, and kind of I was in and out for that set. I didn't really get to spend any time, and then we had to start cleaning up to like our banners and all that shit, and so I missed most of it. I mean, it sounded, from what I could hear from it, it sounded fine.
Yeah, they sounded great. They have a good stage presence. I wish them a good time on their. I think they're going immediately on their tour. They're going soon, so it was cool. It was cool to see them. You know, I've never seen them live. I'm from Bakersfield. When they got big though, I graduated high school and then shortly left for basic training. So when they were getting big and touring and coming to town and doing their thing, I wasn't around for that. So it was cool to see them, and you know, it was cool bringing musicians from all walks of life. I mean, you had 4 different genres of music. I mean, because Adema isn't really metal; they're hard rock, right? Is that what you'd say? And then, of course, Kings of Carnage are metal, and then you got Aviators doing the classic rock gig, Art Machuca doing his whatever you call that, and El Tiempo doing their genre. What exactly would you call that?
I would just, I mean, I use like a lot of Sublime references and
Sublime
stuff like
references, hip hop, rap. I mean, they include it. It's cool, man. And you know, dude, it was a good show. It was a good show. I had a great time. Everyone who went, thank you very much. I know Wounded Heroes Fund had a lot of donations, and it was just a success. And I mean success, like in a lot of ways. So it was cool. I had a great time.
I'll tell you who killed it though. Is the guy you just interviewed, like the last episode, Jacob and his team. They were out there. DryHippo was out there running around like madmen, just killing it, man.
DryHippo Media is the unsung hero of this entire event, and I put that in the group message today. And you know, the beer stuff too. That Tawny and her husband were out there.
Yeah, they worked. I mean, they were running around like madmen too.
Those two, I think he needs. I think he needs to really start looking into doing that. Because he controlled that.
He ran
shit.
the stage, man.
He ran the stage, and he did a great job for the first time ever doing it. If you're listening right now, dude, you need to think about doing that for like next thing we do, man.
Well, I mean, they
we'll
had some
talk
good communication going, and they were running things well. I mean,
he did a great job, and you know, DryHippo Media is the next best thing for Bakersfield, man. And I think that the unsung heroes. I said, Jacob, man, you're the Quentin Tarantino of Bakersfield. I mean, he's just talented.
And a cool dude, man. I mean,
oh fuck, man! You can talk to him, and he'll just be like, "Look, man, I got this idea. We're gonna do this, and we'll do that, and we'll bring it together, and bam, there you go."
Yeah, I mean,
and he'll do it. Like he's not blowing smoke. If he tells you he's gonna put a video or a commercial or something together in a certain way, it's gonna fucking.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like I was kind of a little taken aback by him at first because he was saying, "I'll do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right." You know, I kind of apprehensive about people at first, and then he produced, and it's like, well, this guy is all in, man.
He's good. So we have a special guest in studio talking to us right now who was there last night with us, and this is his first introduction on the podcast. Been friends with this guy for 26 years. Let me tell you how I met him. So funny. So I moved from Orange County and started school here at Buena Vista Elementary School. Met some of these friends of mine, you know, in class and stuff. And over the beginning, I kept hearing, "Oh, my grandpa is Merle Haggard." I don't know who Merle Haggard is, dude. I came from Orange County, man. I don't know him. I think my mom might have known. I went and I told her, and she was like, "Who?" And then my dad told us who he was. And, you know, man, ever since then, we've been, like, the best of friends and, you know, grew up together. And you joined the Army, too. And what year did you end up joining?
I joined in 2006.
2006.
2006 to 2010, yeah. So you were doing your thing. You were in the prime of your career.
Yeah, so you joined, then you got out. And, dude, you've been training MMA. You're a veteran, Army vet. You're out here doing your thing, training. And you're doing MMA, man, fighting for 559 fights up there in Fresno. And... it's good. It's actually a pretty cool organization. I went to your fight. When was that? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was about a month ago in early March or early February. I don't even remember the exact date.
Yeah, it was cool, man. And you know, just been watching you do your thing. Your next fight's going to be in late May, and you don't really got the date yet, but you know, in May we're going to be out there supporting you. We're going to be promoting it and getting you out there and getting your name out there for support. So, you were there last night. What are your opinions? And be honest, man. I think
the order could have been a little different myself. I'm with you guys on that. Like, you can't start off hard with the Aviators who killed it and then slow it down Well, it was Aviators, Kings of Carnage, and then Art Machuca. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you come up with those guys, heavy energy, like a lot of energy, and then you just you slow it down so much. Like I didn't want to be rude to Art Machuca, but I was like falling asleep myself, and I didn't want to get up and leave and be rude in the middle of a song.
Yeah, I mean that music's good for its own. There's different things you can do with that kind of music, man. And I look, dude, I don't want to take any credit from the guy. He's talented at what he does, but that was just the lineup was wrong, dude. It was wrong.
How are you gonna build the energy like that so high and then bring it down to the floor?
Because then you're putting a lot of pressure on the next band, no matter who it is, to bring the energy up. And El Tiempo did. I'll give them that, right? I mean, they brought it out and. They got, their crowd.
They actually had more people down below in the pit or whatever it was than Adema did. So
yeah, I did know. I did notice that. So, I mean, what did you think about Kings of Carnage, man? I mean,
Kings of Carnage was sick. I was like doing my thing with the camera, trying to do the live feed for them.
Yeah, they said you're fired, dude. They said you're never doing that.
Yeah, I dropped the ball.
They're like, hey, he needs to stick to MMA.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Because he was like, damn, this fucker's doing like a 5-camera shoot, and he's like tilting angles and up and down, and I'm like, he's fucking working.
I should have just stayed in the middle of the.
Yeah, dude, he was working and angling and shit. And I'm like, look at this.
Oh, no, I was noticing that too from backstage. I was like, damn, Mike is fucking getting it.
I mean, I was getting into it. I wanted to do the best job
possible. He was just focusing on the wrong people. So, like, during the fucking solo of Domination, he wasn't even covering Jason.
Yeah, I was I need to hear them a couple times so I know where to be at. But, I mean, they're going to have professionals for that in the future. So.
Yeah, dude, I was like, he's working.
Me and Jason and Aaron were out back. We were watching it, and you got that badass solo from Domination.
Side of the fucking stage.
He's filming fucking Aaron and Finney, dude. And Jason's like, "Oh, great, I'm doing my solo, and you don't even see me."
But seriously, they were the most talented band on that fucking stage.
Yeah, I mean,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just in what they do. I mean, they're all talented in their own ways, but Kings are just fucking amazing, man. I'm glad. And that was your first time seeing them, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And for them, it's extra special. The whole military thing. For me, for guys,
and that's what brings a lot of vets in, man. 60-something vets showed up, which I mean, that's pretty fucking good. 60 veterans showed up, and through.
Yeah, what do you think? There's 300 people.
Yeah, I think there. I think the numbers were between. It had to have been between 3 and 4. You think 4 to 5? Let's just say 400. Let's just say 400. I mean, give or take 100.
A third to a quarter were all vets. That's pretty bad.
I mean, it didn't sell out, and I think the fucking news guy, man, that came earlier in the day, he really kind of annoyed me. He's like, so obviously your show hasn't sold out, and he's interviewing me, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it's not about that. People tend to think that like if your show doesn't sell out.
Well, there's a way to say tickets still available, not like
the show hasn't sold out. Yeah,
you shitheads,
And I told him I gotta look and see if they posted it on air, or I don't know if they did or not, but I said, it's not about selling out. This is about local music and local veterans. Fuck, man. I hate how it's like if your show doesn't sell out, it's shit. Well, Slayer came 2 weeks ago. They didn't sell out. So are you going to say that Slayer doesn't have...
Slayer and Testament.
Yeah, I mean, that was, it's about quality, I think, and it's about the purpose. Am I wrong?
Yeah, and everybody that went into this show generally went in with, like, good intentions. Everybody was trying to do something. There's times where... It might have been people were winging it, tried to bite off a little bit more than they chew, and they were a little too aggressive in their goals. But everybody went in to put on the best show that they could and try to make this happen, man. And
you know what the beauty of it is, dude, is that
it's nice to see it. I mean, the attempt and the work, and everybody did.
To see somebody just come up with the idea and say, hey, you know what, let's do this.
Put their nuts out on the line.
That was the first time. Tony kept saying that was history because that was the first time that a local rock band, local bands have ever played the Fox, like, before making it big.
I
don't know. That's a fact that I guess he heard that from Bob or something, Bob Bender. But, it's cool. And there is this, like, nostalgia about the Fox. It's pretty neat.
I like the building. Getting up and back and forth into those dressing rooms stinks, but other than that...
The staircase is a little steep.
Yeah, it's a little narrow and tight.
Little winded. Get a lot of people back there. It's like, okay, I got to get the fuck on out.
There's a lot of history in that building.
Yeah, how many times your grandpa played? So your grandpa is Merle Haggard, right?
Definitely, yeah. He actually played last year. I went and saw him and kicked it with him, and get the whole backstage experience, and yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Great dude.
I mean, I know that, but people are probably like, wait, they kind of briefly hit him.
Yeah, my name is Mike Stevens, though, but that's my mom's.
Your mom's dad.
My mom's father, so of course I'm gonna have my dad's last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you guys have like strong looks too. You guys all look. When I see him, I'm like, holy shit, that is Mike's grandpa. That's crazy, man. So you went and you saw him play. That was like what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah,
2 years.
A year and a half ago here in Bakersfield at the Fox. It was a pretty quick show. My uncle actually opened up too.
Yeah.
Noel Haggard, and that was awesome. Watching the family up there playing, and my other uncle is actually a guitarist. So it's a big family thing.
And they all stay. They stay in Bakersfield, but they also have like a big thing going.
They stay in Redding, up
north,
California, up in Shasta County.
Yeah, because I know you're talking. You went up there a few times in the past. I remember. That's got to be fucking badass, dude. Like waking up and seeing like my grandpa's Merle Haggard.
Well, the cool thing about it is like you've heard for all these years, Merle's from here, and all the the Bakersfield Sound guys, and it's almost like of legend, like. You hear that Bigfoot's out in the trees, but you never see any proof that Bigfoot is out in the fucking trees, So to actually know that, there it is, and there's still, remnants here is cool.
Yeah, that's neat, man.
Yeah, you ask, a lot of people ask, like, tell me a good story, but it's really like you're chilling with your grandpa. It's not like, I mean, I know he's famous, he's a legend, but it's just like...
It's just your grandpa.
Yeah, it's just my grandpa. We don't talk, like... About
music, you talk about life.
Yeah, we talk about normal shit that... Everybody, it's like hanging out with your grandparents.
I heard some celebrities say that no matter who your dad is, if your dad's like the coolest person on the planet or whatever, no matter who that person is, that's your goofy fucking dad. He's no better than anybody else's dad, that it's your dad,
That's
so
funny.
everybody can think that he's cool as shit, but...
We'll have to we got plans, we got things in the work that we want to do, man. That'd be kind of cool to... Because when you combine genres... It can work. It worked last night. You
just have the right energy.
It'd be cool to kind of combine Kings, Merle.
I want to get Kings to play at Crystal Palace just for the fucking lark, dude. Just to see it happen.
We
for
can
a
sell
veteran
it.
show.
We can sell that, dude. I mean, look, dude, they're an all-military metal band. They're veterans.
That's what I'm saying. And just to, just to see it happen would make
some of them good old boys that go to Buck Owens, man. They like some little head.
Well, there's a lot of cross pollination
they like drinking
now.
Keystone Natty Light and drinking this some metal.
I mean, before a lot of the country fans, like, you couldn't like anything but that shit has been, all when you realize that it comes down to people playing chords and shit, you speed them up, slow them down.
I mean, Aaron Lewis plays there, and I saw him. My friend Doug Harvey and his wife actually took me. And I had a blast, dude. That's before I quit drinking. It was such a good time. We were right there up front. Aaron Lewis is obviously doing his thing. And I can see where you're going, where Art Machuca is kind of like a Aaron Lewis style solo acoustic supporting band type deal. That show was awesome.
Aaron Lewis music makes me fucking sad, dude. Like, that dude it sounds like he's on the verge of suicide about every fucking third song, dude. Country songs are a little different, but that Stain shit, dude, I mean, that is fucking sit in your bathtub and slit your wrist music, dude. That fucking shit is terrible. For me, emotionally.
I'd have to look at the sound there and take pictures and ask Jason. I don't know if their sound is set up for Kings. Right? I mean, I don't know the details. They'd have to, I mean, Jason, you I know you're listening, bro. You have to kind of...
Well,
you can will speakers and shit.
Yeah, Jason.
He was saying he was happy. I don't know if he was just being positive.
About the sound at the Fox?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it sounded good. I'm talking about Buck Owens' Crystal Palace, though.
Oh.
I don't know if they're set up, because they're set up for country, I know. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, but the sound has to be set up.
He built that a certain way when he built that.
Yeah, I think it's... Sure. Right, he did.
He did that bass, it just reverberate off the
foot.
Well, because they got that big fucking Buick, whatever that car is, that giant Cadillac car with the bullhorns. I could just picture... the fucking bass coming off the stage and that fucking car falling off into the bar.
Just telling Aaron, you cannot stand on that fucker and play your bass, all right?
I just...
Because could you see him with the sunglasses on, beard, and his tongue hanging out, fucking standing out?
I don't know if that'd work, but I mean, it's worth a try. We can go talk to him. I'll look into it.
Looking that old Cadillac, and the bass would bounce off, and it'd sound like somebody with a shitty stereo system and a fucking 76 Caprice or whatever, where just boom.
I can imagine, dude.
Tighten the license plate, asshole.
Because they got all his shit, man. The glass, they got the glass cube with all his Buck Owens, Buckaroo, fucking whatever he wore, all that shiny, like bedazzle shit. I could picture the glass breaking and just fucking.
You know what was nice to see?
You guys gotta go.
Last night was nice to see.
What's that?
Military show, people drinking, and we didn't see a fight.
No. Then that, it's so funny. That's actually probably the one unspoken truth about this whole thing. You had a military rock show, a veteran-based. Well, no, I'm sorry. You had a veteran benefit rock show, and no one got in a fight in Bakersfield.
Not even see
Downtown.
No. Everybody was like glad-handing pretty much, and shaking hands, and
the
everybody was really
the after
cool.
party went to the American Legion across the street, and people continued to drink, and they hooked everybody up with $3 beers, and there was still not a fight.
Didn't you say they hit a mark with the numbers at the Legion?
Yeah, American Legion. He told me how much. I don't want to put it out there, but he told me how much they made. I mean, they made good for the American Legion. We're gonna be working with them in the future too, and helping raise some money for them. They're in a perfect position right across from the Fox.
Oh, dude, they should be. The good thing too is that I liked the fact that it was military people, not being one, but we've talked about on this show before how everybody wants to come out and say, God and country and support the troops and like treating a lot of you veterans like not DDs, but almost like
pimping us
special needs people or something, like where here's the little dudes that we can only bring and we can only talk about. No, you were treated like real people. Here's a show for you. Come out and have fun. Hang with a group of your brethren, and you guys can, commiserate. But it wasn't, and that's why I'm saying the cool thing with the no fights and everything. It treated like adults.
Yeah, and that's something that I said in my video that I posted last night after the show, is that there are so many events and fundraisers and organized, things in town and around where veterans go to them and they got to kind of play the role. They got to walk the walk. They got to watch what they say, watch what they do, because God forbid you upset this veteran organization that you're a part of, or God forbid somebody see a veteran say this or do that. Suddenly it's a big deal. Events like this, veterans can go to and not have to worry about that. I was a little worried when I spoke, because that was, this was my first big event that I've done that I wasn't associated with the veteran organization I was associated with before. So in the past, I'd go and I'd say some things, but I'd watch what I say, so no cussing. I realized last night, right before I went out to introduce Kings, that it hit me. I was like, I'm not with anybody. I can say whatever the fuck I want, however I want. And I did. And I was a little worried that I dropped too many F-bombs, but then everyone kept telling me, no, Chad, no. That was absolutely perfect. I got a good response, and you know what, dude? That's what veterans want to hear. Veterans don't want to have to go someplace and worry about and not being who they are and having to act like somebody else,
Well, it's just a larger problem with society, because if you go through it, this is where we've gotten into the word debate and all this before. So what happens when you come out? What happens when you come out and you introduce Kings? A 5-minute video comes out of war, shit blowing up, dudes, on doing their service and everything like that. And we've watched this shit blow up. We watched guns being fired, all this shit, and we're worried about somebody saying fuck.
Well, and when I was fuck it, I'm just going to call them out by name because I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just speaking the truth. When I was with Wounded Heroes Fund, I worked for them. I was told when I hosted Overwatch podcasts, keep the F-bombs to a minimum. Wear a hat when you go to this function. Here I am with a mohawk, and I dyed my hair blue, and some people might think, or however they want to think about that, but I was told, wear a hat, look professional, watch what you say. That wasn't me, man. I hated that. I fucking hated that. You're telling me that here I am, a combat vet, trying to be me. I'm trying to figure out who I am, and I like what I do. I enjoy doing this to my hair. Yeah, I got a face piercing, and you're going to tell me to cover up? That I take that as now I'm not good enough for you. I got to lie and hide who I am. So, dude, I'm not with that, and I enjoy doing what I do, and you know what? It seems to be working. I seem to get an amazing response, and people like it. So,
Well, I mean, the whole point of what all you guys have done is for freedoms.
Yeah, it is about freedoms, and I'm not taking away from any of these groups that make, that, and I'm not pointing out one Wounded Heroes Fund. It's a lot of different organizations. I got buddies who work for VA housing and stuff like that, and different veteran organizations who can't even come on my pod. They can't even come on our podcast. I want them on so bad just to talk about different things. I got one guy who was a contractor, and I thought it would have been cool to talk about the Benghazi movie, 13 Hours, and have him on because he was a contractor. He did that. He can't because of who he works for. The veteran organization he works for won't allow him to. So it sucks because here's a guy who's got an amazing story.
We got to invest money into that voice scrambler.
Yeah, get a voice scrambler. We should, man. I mean, we just plug
so
it right back.
We can do it you can do it with software anyway. But
It sucks. You see what I'm saying, though? And that's what was beautiful about this event is that...
And it always makes you wonder, too, is like the stories that need to be hidden are the ones that need to be out there. There's a reason that people are, let's keep quiet about certain things. And, that's what people need to hear.
Well, because they're more worried about the donors, and they're more worried about their image, and they're more worried about what they're not worried. If they cared so much about the veterans and about what veterans are doing, it wouldn't bother them. Because do you think the donors are really like bringing out their checkbooks and saying, okay, before I write this check, can you explain why that veteran has blue hair? Can you explain why that veteran right there?
I was going to donate more, but
yeah, I was going to donate more, but his hair is just, instead of 1,000, here's 200. No, they're not thinking that. And if they are, to tell you the truth, if they are, and if it was my organization, I wouldn't take their money. That's just me, though. Because, you got the Wounded Warrior Project and all these other, organizations.
I think a lot of them, though, not knowing, but, like, when they start, the heart's in the right place, and then the bureaucracy of some of these groups eats them up, like the Wounded Warriors. And
they start making so much money.
Right.
And they want their name everywhere, and they want the recognition, and they want to help veterans, and the more and more they do, the bigger they do, the more they can help. But that comes with a cost. You kind of lose yourself, and then you lose. I think it takes you. I would say it's almost impossible to grow real big and to maintain that mission of keeping it real with the veterans and not forgetting and losing track.
Well, I think a lot of those organizations, like when they like full-time employees, when people have a job that's related to it, when it becomes,
Well, yeah, because
now people are keeping jobs. It's not a labor of love type thing anymore. It's like, well, I got a whole any job. What are you trying to do at any job? Basically, not get fucking fired. Well,
when I was never fired from them.
No, but I'm saying in general, you do shit in your job to hold on to a job or whatever. Once it becomes a job, if you're doing something for a labor of love, you're working because that's what you're doing. But if you're getting money for it, you become dependent on the money, and that becomes part of your lifestyle. And it's the point of any job is basically not to get fired.
And that's kind of one reason why I walked away is because I wanted to do more. And I think me being vocal about stuff on Facebook was interact. They said that I was affecting. People were calling in about some of the things I was saying and posting, and I didn't care. And I'm going to be me, and I'm going to do me. I don't want to be that person that stops them from getting any more donations or becomes a nuisance as far as donors and whatnot. So I chose to walk away just because I have so much respect for that organization. And shit, man, since I've left, I've had 2 events. I think I've probably given them, raised $2,000 that went their way. I know last night they had some donations. I know 20% of the door sales went to them. Kings of Carnage, man, that B-Riders show we did back in February, they got some money from there. So the importance of this show was that it gave veterans a fucking place to go and have a good time and just be them,
You know what? This kind of reminds me of when we did the Batman review, where it almost come off sounding negative.
Right.
But it wasn't. Like, we weren't
right.
negative about it. Like, I looked at the damn Batman movie, to tell you the truth, and I had a great time last night, honestly.
Yeah, so did I. And I love the feel. I got respect for every artist that went up there. I respect Wounded Heroes Fund, but we have our, we rightfully so have our critiques and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the way. Because we met. Shook hands with people who listened to the show that we didn't know. And all this stuff, and it was a great. And it was great to see like all the people working together that were behind the scenes to see the lights come on. because there was time like I was like, oh yeah, I'm like when you first told me this going in, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we're gonna be able to get into the Fox, that it's ever gonna get that far. Shit.
Yeah, we got to see the backstage and like how shit operates, and I went up to that control room up top and just got to see the kind of nerve center of everything.
But I mean, for the fact that they were actually going to open the doors and let us in, you know, and say,
have
here you guys,
there.
you know,
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right, let me know when it happens.
When you start bringing veteran causes and stuff, who's going to say no? That's the thing, man. Like
everybody's got a place in their heart.
If you're going to be the place that says no, I don't want to get involved in any veteran things, dude, then they're going to come down on you, and you're going to be that guy.
I think for the most part, people, they have a place in their heart. Like, I don't think it's so much about that.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this country. And that's why people can relate to it. And that's why when I went up there, I said, hey, you know, if you or somebody you know served in this branch, stand up. And so that's, I think, why the Coast Guard got so much love.
Everybody got a cousin or
yeah, I was surprised, man. Coast Guard got a pretty good response. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know if you want to... People who helped you out too, because I mean, Jazz got you on quick in a turnaround.
Jazz McKay over at 1560 AM. I emailed Chris, I think on Monday. I knew he'd let me on, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was no doubt about it.
I mean, those guys, I love them. They love me, and so we went on and was on Jazz for 30 minutes. To me and Tony, I know that 23 News came down twice. 17 News, they said they were coming. I don't think they ever did. And just locally, man. I mean, the local people want to get involved, and I think it's important for local music. You know, just dude, back in the day, what was it, like the 90s? It seemed like downtown Bakersfield, Jerry's Pizza was like the spot, dude. Right? That's where people went.
Yeah, that's where all the bands like Juice. Remember Juice back in the
Well,
day?
some of the dudes in Adema played for Juice. You know that? I didn't know that until last night. Did you ever hang out at Jerry's?
Not really. I went a couple times when Rocky and Preston were in town. That basement down there, but we talked to a guy from Jerry's last night. That's just not my, like, it was never my, like, it's too, I don't know, dude, I'm a pussy. It's too sweaty and, like, it's cramped and.
Cave.
Yeah.
I've been in places like that in North Carolina because they have, like, those tropical storm, hurricane basements.
Yeah, that's what it reminds, like a storm cellar. But no, I mean, and it's a cool place. I mean, I've been a few times. It's just my scene was never really. I'm not that big of a live local band person. I mean, I've gotten more interest now as I've gotten older to see, from the creation of it to. I was more of I want that shit on a CD in my hand that I can go to a music store and have to buy it. I didn't want to search as much.
Yeah. Well, it seems like there's a music scene coming back. They got that first Friday every month downtown, and
that political protest breaks out every time.
Does that happen?
I think so. I saw videos.
I haven't gone to one. I got to go do a first Friday.
I think we need to go.
We need to go and just fucking have fun with it. You know what we need to do? We should start going with that little handheld recorder.
I know.
And even videotape. Dude, we should get DryHippo involved and do the guy at Fox does it. I guess it'd be kind of copying them. Mark Dice does it, where they go and they talk to people on the streets.
Like jaywalking.
Yeah, Jay Leno does it. It'd be cool. Or did it. What the hell's that guy doing now?
He's got a car show. He's getting fat and drunk. I showed you those pictures from the Love Ride.
Yeah, dude. That dude.
I know he hasn't been busy combing his fucking hair for the last year.
He wears denim all the time.
His denim complete bodysuit.
He opens his closet, dude, and it's just all fucking denim. That's funny.
That dude, that guy was, I think he was having a good time. I don't think he rode his bike there, but I don't think he rode it home.
That's funny. I had a good time, man. Last night was fun. I can't wait till the next one. We got a lot of talk about different events we're doing, and obviously the next thing we're focusing on is your fight, Mike. So, what class you fighting? Like, what weight class?
155. I was fighting at 170.
That's where you were in that last fight, huh?
I'm stronger if I drop to that weight. The guys are a little faster, but I'm a little stronger. And I'm a little bigger, so I think for the.
So you're gonna drop down to 155?
Yeah,
for sure?
I think it's to my advantage if I do.
Now I don't know because I watched your last fight on the stream that Chad put up. That dude looked big, man. Like when he got out of his dehydrating and his weight cut, that dude
Well, he was shorter, and honestly, I did take nothing away from him. I didn't get proper rest and probably didn't cut weight right. But
did you have to cut? Did you have to cut a lot to get to that?
Yeah, he cut a lot of weight.
It took a couple weeks, and then the final 3-4 days, you're just dehydrating yourself and
Yeah, because I was like, I'm watching. I'm like, Jesus, that dude looks like.
What'd you say? You're eating like apples and oranges the day before at work, just so you can have.
Just to hydrate. And
fuck that, and then you go and fight
I was
somebody.
gonna say, then you eat apples and oranges, and
the
then
part that got me was you picked me up from work, Chad.
Yeah.
And I get 2.5 hours sleep. At
He
the
worked
hotel.
that night, so he just got promoted, and I understand, dude. Like you don't want to go and get promoted and be like, okay, yeah, great, but I need this night off.
By the way,
because I'm gonna go fight in a cage the next day.
But you know me, I'm not gonna back down from a fight. You know me 30 years.
Yeah, no, this is one dude.
No
fucking,
excuses. Like the guy brought his A game, and I just gonna prep better next time.
Oh, I can't think of anybody in any sport, not just fighting, but any sport, fucking cricket, man, or goddamn shuffleboard, who get no sleep prior. You're talking
Jay Leno and his uncombable hair.
You're talking. You got off work. I picked you up at 7:30. No, you got off work at 7:30. I picked you up at 8.
We went to weigh-ins.
We're on the road. We get the weigh-ins at 10. And then we went and we fucking pigged out at Black Bear Cafe after you made weight.
God, you showed that picture of that, and I was like, dude, I was all Chad. I was like, dude, if I was Mike, I'd tell him, that fucker, let that dude know, don't hit me in the stomach, or I'm shitting all over you in this ring.
From him, the guy hit like a fucking Mack truck. But
yeah, he looked like he brought it. I mean, he looked like he had some fucking definitely some
pounds. I could have prepared better, is all.
But I mean, yeah, you got like 3 hours of sleep, and then I had to wake you up. I'm like, dude, it's 4 o'clock. We went to the hotel room, and you got like 3 hours, and I said, man, you got to go, dude. You got to be there in like 30 minutes. So it is what it is, man. I mean,
it's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience. We learn shit all the time with this podcast gig, and it's just you learn as you go and get better upon it. I don't mind mistakes. I look at some of the episodes we've done in the past where, like, I forgot to turn my fucking mic on. We did an episode one time, dude. My mic wasn't on, so I'm getting feedback from his. But it was such a good episode and such good dialogue, and we were talking about shit that I just fucking released it. I was like, fuck it. And then
what about the Making a Murderer, dude? We had the hottest thing going on in the goddamn country.
You guys were on that shit.
And the dude wasn't mic'd.
That guy.
And I wasn't either.
Oh, the whole show?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
dude.
Yeah, you learn.
But you learn as you go, and like at first it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I'll edit and I'll say, "Man, this sucks." But
he'll text me half the time and go, "Dude, this fucking sucks. We can't." And I'm like, "No, let it happen." That's what we recorded it. Let it.
I don't mind. I don't mind. Because I have such a high standard when it comes to this, man, that I want this shit to be comparable to, the Mark Marons, the Joe Rogans, the Anthony Cumia.
Well, I mean, I want to go in one of these days. We're going to take some time, and I want to, or even, if we get a fusion, possibly, go in and strip the whole thing down and rebuild it to get it humming, dude. We'll do that in time.
We're doing good. I'm happy you learned your mistakes, and I think that going into your next fight, man, and to get some rest, and I think it's your boss found out afterwards that you fight.
Yeah, and I was all paranoid. Like, I didn't want him to know, look down on me, like.
Yeah. Oh, you fight in cages.
Because I'm a supervisor now, and I don't. Yeah, I go and he was totally cool about it. He's like, no, man, it's all good. And he gives me now. He's like, just let me know when you need time off for it. And it's like, fuck.
But see, then now that sets you up for success because now you got one less thing. Cause I think maybe going into this last one, you were a little stressed out about it. Now, dude, hey, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get my time off. I can train. It sets you up for success, man. I'm stoked because
I set myself up for failure, kind of. But
I wouldn't. Most people.
Failure, but.
Pretty sure your boss is going to be happy to know that you're doing that instead of this asshole comes in with a fucking black eye and a fucking crooked nose or something one day. And and he's like, oh, well, okay, you fight professionally. Okay, you're just.
My nose was off.
But at least you're not just out, he knows you're not out there just being a problem, just, oh yeah, okay, you fight professionally,
Mike's gonna look like that dude on Fight Club, that scene in Fight Club where it shows the people in their real jobs and he's all fucked up. Yeah. No, go ahead, bro.
Just the support, was bigger than wins or losses. The support I got from you, so many people out there, people I didn't even know. People from Visalia Elite Team is one of the biggest gyms in the fucking country. And I had guys asking if I was going to come train there because my coach, Enrique, trains there. And they were asking about me, so that it makes me feel good.
Oh, it's impressive, dude, because everybody talks a lot of shit. And then, somebody's doing it.
Who can get, bro.
Everybody's watching these fights on YouTube. Oh, well, he should have fucking reversed him and, fuck off.
Him. Put yourself in a kick, because they lock that motherfucker. It's on, dude. It's you and another dude in a cage, and you're going to fucking punch each other in the face. That's
Yeah, and I got veterans that wrestled for decades coming out and wanting to train me to make me better. Fucking Brian Cobb reached out to help train me.
Well, who'd you meet last night?
Matt
You met,
Baker.
a fellow veteran we know.
Yeah, wrestled for 9 years and wants to work with me.
Right,
and
works at the vet center, and that's a fucking stacked-ass dude.
Yeah.
That right there, he doesn't fight MMA or anything, but I've seen that guy out fucking lay dudes out.
Yeah, for him to reach out and want to help me just because I'm a brother veteran.
Yeah, that's
means
fucking
a lot.
awesome, and he can teach you some shit. And even if it's just one thing you take from it, right on, man. Well, we're gonna be promoting the shit out of you. We got roughly a month to do this, and we'll be, getting maybe DryHippo involved. We'll do some Rocky Balboa, fucking cool little promos. And
Make
shit.
you run up the steps at some.
Man, what steps, man? What steps
I
are
know, that's what I was
Bakersfield?
thinking. That was going to be like 3 steps.
The Bill
Up
Library.
like the Fox.
The Fox.
Those steep ass stairs.
We'll get you, man. We got you, dude. Thanks for coming on, man. We're gonna have you on again. We're gonna do a whole episode on fighting. We'll get you.
Yeah, there's a lot I want to get into.
About fighting and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
there's a lot to touch on that
Yeah.
subject, but it's been an honor, guys.
We'll put it out right before your fight, and definitely be doing some videos and get people to know who you are.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Big thank you guys to our fans here in Bakersfield. And I say fans, but that's essentially what they are, man. I mean, they like our show, and they tell you we're fans
Still
of your
doesn't
show.
sound right, but
It doesn't sound right, and I don't like saying it. I know Randy doesn't like it, but we're just gonna call you guys.
we're gonna go with servants or no. Thanks, guys.
we're gonna go with listeners for the time being, but we appreciate it, man, and we're gonna be doing so much more. I mean, we're just getting started. Stay tuned. I gotta put a disclaimer out about the next episode. Be open-minded, man. Just because you see a title and you hear somebody's into something a little bit different than what you are in, don't judge a book by its cover, okay? Next episode is gonna be awesome. It's a 2-parter. I think you guys are really gonna like it. All right, man. For CHADMAN and Randy, out.